DJ, a one-way flight is crazy.
Yeah, I got there. Hey, I'm telling you, I look at the itinerary. I'm like, all right, it's got to be a flight home. And then it was like, nah. And then I kept asking my agent, I'm like, yo, when I'm gonna get the flight home? It's like, they said they're gonna book it. And I'm like, dude, it's like 5 in the afternoon. I still ain't got no flight back to the crib. Like, I've been up here since 8. I ain't got no flight back. We trying to get this done. I was like, he's like, it don't seem like they're trying to let you out this building. But I was walking by one door, and some dude shouted out, he's like, we ain't letting you out the building until we get the deal done, man. I don't know who it was. I didn't even look at the door when he said it, but all I could remember is like those words getting said as I walked by. It was cool.
That's the statement from Dan Campbell. That is, burn the boats. This is Hotel California. You can come, but you can never leave.
This isn't a joke. This isn't a tweet. This is real life. Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes only booked a one-way flight for DJ Reader on his visit the Detroit Lions, meaning they had no purpose and or intention of allowing him to leave the building. Matter of fact, the guys pointing in the clip, quite blank told him, hey, you know you're not leaving this building until we get this deal done. Brother, if this ain't proof that they want to win, they booked this is not a joke. This is something like we ha-ha'd at when he's coming to town. Mm-hmm. Don't let him leave. Lock the doors.
They didn't let him leave.
They literally didn't let him leave.
You're not going anywhere. It's literally like, hey, DJ Reader, I like you, and I want you. And that's like, no Diddy. You keep him here. This is the type of guy you keep here. This is the type of guy you don't let walk out of those doors because of what he does to every other piece of your defense. He makes every other piece of your defense better. Brad Holmes knew it. Dan Campbell knew it. They said you can check out anytime you'd like, but you can never leave. You're staying here for good. And guess what? It worked. And that's not the first time we heard DJ Reader say that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell forced their way into his mind to make him a Detroit Lion. When he sat down with Dan Campbell, when he looked Dan Campbell in the eyes and heard what this man was preaching, heard how this man was talking, heard how this man said, listen, DJ, man, we need you here, man. You would be a great part of this defense, man. We think you fit the culture. You're tough, and we're going for that Super Bowl, man. He felt that. He felt that in his soul, and that's why he stayed here. I love this shit. Well, this is what good cultures do. This is what good environments do. They don't let good talent leave, and we didn't let DJ Reader leave.
And that's one of the things that DJ Reader had during his interaction. He was the fact that, you can have anybody coach up a scheme. Anybody can do that. But at the NFL level, or at just any head coach level, you have to coach up your coaches. You have to coach up your staff. There has to be just nonstop, I don't know what word I'm looking for. I got cohesiveness, I guess is what word I'd use. And Dan Campbell has that. He's a true leader of men. He said when he shook his hand, it hurt. She asked him later on in the same interview if you had to pick one of your coaches for a WWE wrestling match, who would it be? It was Dan Campbell.
Yes.
DJ Reader, thank you first and foremost for signing here in Detroit. You must have known you weren't leaving. You locked up the deal, but now you're here. They provide that to you, that they wanted you there by showing you that. I mean, what a tactic in itself. Just because that's another piece we wanted too. He got hurt, and negotiations still could have been had with the Bengals. He said that didn't happen. So he hit free agency. He's like, well, they obviously didn't want me. They didn't offer me any type of deal beforehand. Let me just go see what I want, or what's available to me. And he was wanted. He felt wanted when he came here to Detroit. They addressed how they would use him in the offense. In the defense. They addressed how it would benefit him, the team, and everybody else around him. And they also just happened to lock the door so he just couldn't leave. It's how you do business.
And it definitely helps that you were, 5 minutes away from making the Super Bowl last year. It definitely helps that you are, one of the top 3 teams in the NFC, a legitimate Super Bowl contender for the next season. Those things help. When you walk into a room and you see those kind of men sitting there with that kind of intensity, that kind of drive about clear-cut, realistic goals, it's hard to walk away from. And it's especially hard to walk away from when they take your shoes at the door. So I love this, man. I love this attitude. I love this behavior. I love this culture. Because this is what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are.
Yeah.
They're just bros, dude. They're not, suit and tie. Oh, we'll do this, blah, blah, blah. They're dudes. They're bros. They're guys. They're football dudes that just sit down and freak out and pound the table after a draft pick, that are jumping up and hugging, that are screaming in elevators, that are so juiced with football when they see a guy that they want on their team, they don't book him a flight home because he's staying here and he's going to be a pivotal piece of this defense.
Listen, man, if you weren't bought into the DJ Reader stuff from when we told you to begin with, if you didn't buy into it after we had all 22 films on, you should at least, at the very least, if you respect Brad Holmes and or Dan Campbell, buy into it the fact that they locked this man to the building.
Hey, Brad, did you get me a flight home yet?
I'm not going to, so quit asking.
Quit asking, baby. We locked him in. This is what elite organizations do. They eye a player. They know what he means to this team, specifically this defense that needed to improve. We know the offense is going to remain elite, but the big question to getting to that next step is locking down this defense. And they circled him as their guy, and they obviously locked the doors. You're stuck with us now. Let's go to war. DJ Reader, you, sir, are a lion. Let's go.
Just hearing that provide the evidence to me that they do want to win. And as much as I said go all in, and I thought that meant a little bit more acquisitions, maybe a little bit more higher end talent, they're doing it, but they're going about their way, which is how bargain bin Brad goes about it. He's going to continue to do so. And I think we discussed in this show multiple times too, like possibilities of him trading up in this year's draft. I'm kind of leaning towards that kind of stuff, man. Like, I forgot, I think it was, who was the guy on NFL Network who always does the mock drafts? Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks. They had like a little podcast. I think it's called like the Sticks or whatever it is. But they're just talking about a couple of GMs and they're like, yeah, there's probably like 17 guys, which is still a lot of this draft class that they feel are like elite guys. Like they feel like if you're in this draft and you're at like pick 5, like somewhere where a team might want to trade up and get a quarterback, that you'd be safe to move back as long as you're within that top 20, top 17. You're still going to get just as good of a caliber player as you wanted it where you originally were. And I think Brad, we've seen him assess drafts that way, and he's acquired more picks to grab those guys. So I'm kind of buying into a possibility where he trades up and grabs. We've been mentioning games like Jared Verse. I'm out to throw Latu out there too. I mean, they did an all defensive draft on that podcast. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's Shooting the Sticks, whatever it is. Latu was number 1 off the board, and I've kind of been like not as high on him just because of like the age, and I felt like some of his dominance was just that he's basically a pro guy at that point going against college kids. But if he's still being viewed as that top 17 by Brad and company, like go get him.
Yes.
Go get whoever it is. If it's Terrion Arnold, if it's Nate Witt, I mean whoever the hell it is, if Brad's moving up to get him, I'm even more happy. Oh, I just saw Dallas Turner in the Woodward Sports Shea. Who did that? Chef Talks. That would be crazy.
These are win now moves. These are we got a Super Bowl to chase moves. These are we need better players in here to make this defense better moves. DJ Reader, Carlton Davis, you go out there, you pay the price, you get a top flight talent at that position. We've seen him do it in the draft before. He's got the ammo. He's not worried about what the future is. He's worried about right now.
Danny G, I feel that comment. Danny G in Woodward Sports Chat. This regime makes me smile uncontrollably. I agree. And I feel stupid sometimes because you're just smiling like you're stupid. But it's like, we've never had this, bro. And outside of like having like competence, it's also like elite level. Like Brad Holmes just voted executive of the year. Like it's more than just like having the competence. It's also like top tier at the position. Yeah. Speaking of that, and I probably should save this because it is its own topic as well, but like, and I get it. Everyone loves Dan Campbell. We know that by far anyway. But the Fox coaching poll they've been doing, NFL and Fox, they've had like the tournament style, did all the March Madness style for like the NFL head coaches.
Style,
yeah, bracket. There you go. And you come down to Dan Campbell and Andy Reid as the two coaches, like everybody in America, everybody who voted on that at least would want as their coaches. And it's like, you smile in control because it's real. And on top of that, what Spinney said too, they're also like just dope dudes. Mm-hmm. Like Dan Campbell's funny as shit. Brad, I mean, a little bit more serious, but also like he'll talk his shit, which makes me laugh. It brings comfort to me. I love it, man. This is when Greeny made those comments is why I feel he sounded stupid as fuck. Yeah. These are the pieces he like didn't take into consideration.
Because Greeny doesn't know what he's talking about. All respect due, which is none on this topic. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about when he says shit like that. Because he obviously hasn't paid attention to what they're doing. They weren't building a one and done team.
Oh, their window's over.
Yeah, so all of these fantastic draft picks that every single critic and every single GM has said been the best drafts of the past couple years, they're just not going to be good anymore. He's just not going to continue to do that. Like, that's just clickbait bullshit from ESPN.